I didn't know we were starting this minute, and I'm also sorry that I'm 1 minute late. So I am really glad to be here. It's been quite a week. I don't know about you, but I am exhausted. And you know what, Claudia? You can just hand it to me because you know I'm going to read them.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We were just going. She got all the questions printed out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so anyway, I'm really grateful that you're here. It's been quite a week. I've been exhausted. And remember, I talked about the dog. I always say that coffee cups are oracle cards for me. So this Scotty cup is, I said that a childhood dog had come to my dreams the other night and visited me. And anyway, she was a little Scotty named Penny. So I had to pull out this. Okay.
We are not on the hotspot. We're on the Wi-Fi, so it might get spotty.
Why don't you turn? What?
It's on. It's
Yeah.
just not on the phone.
Do you want to? You can do it.
Okay. Bear with me, everybody. I
Yeah,
apologize.
it's going to be bumpy.
I apologize. Give me 1 second.
Just don't show the messy.
We're on.
Okay. All right. So we're still here. Is anybody joining?
Yes. I apologize for that, everybody. The Wi-Fi was kind of weak, so I had to switch it to the hotspot.
Yeah. The Wi-Fi is ridiculous here. So anyway, I am really grateful you're here. And if you're new to me, I'm Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator for 30 years. I'm an energy healer. I'm an author and a TEDx speaker and founder of Communication with All Life University. And my school has been, so I've been teaching since 1998. And again, I love showing that in 1998, this is my cat Alexandria in Los Angeles jumping on to that stool, that little ladder, to teach the advanced animal communication because she was above the horse, you know, of course. So anyway, and my school has been in existence for 10 years, which is really exciting. And on this 10-year anniversary, I thought, I really want to do something big. And so I started doing a lot of these free classes, and I started really getting communication out there more. And my mission has always been to empower others to deeply connect with all life so that together we can give voice to those who can't speak for themselves and ultimately raise the frequency and heal the planet. And I can't do that alone, right? And so this year I actually put a number on it. I put 1 million animals. I want to help 1 million animals. And in order to do that, I need to engage a bunch of other people in helping animals. So that's why we started doing a lot of these free trainings, and they've been really fun. And of course, I have way more advanced trainings if this calls to you, and I could talk about that later. But are people coming on? Okay, good. So we got some really good questions coming in, and they kept coming.
I want to say while you're looking at the questions and doing a quick run up through, Tony Ann Ventrella Wilson says she was so exhausted last night.
Yeah. How did last night go for people?
Carla Clark Taylor says, what a week, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello from Calgary, Canada. That's Jeanette Arnold. I have loved this series and really appreciate the honesty, realness, and integrity of Joan.
Thank you. Thank you, Gita.
Yeah, so morning from Dallas, Pete Martinez. I'll always remember Pete with the margaritas.
Yeah, exactly. We're coming to Dallas. And I hope if anybody's in New Orleans that you're staying safe about now.
Chris Esposito says, I was not able to connect as deeply as I would have liked to.
You know, like anything, this is a practice, and it's my sense is that when you may have gotten what you need for now, and there may be more work to do around your grief, and that's certainly a big task, but it's not undoable, and you can always go back and listen to that meditation again, and connect with your animals. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it in here, so that that's something you always have, because that is something that no matter what, our connection to our animals is just about the most important thing on the planet, and that should be available to everybody. Everybody should know how to do that. And I really, it's when it becomes harder, bigger questions when you're not trusting your judgment, then there's a need for an animal communicator, obviously. But all of you want the connection yourself, and you should have that. And then, some of you are going to want to take it even further, and I have all the programs for that. So let's jump in. So this is in the group. So these were organized. I haven't even really gotten a chance to look at these because they were kind of all organized at the last minute.
Kathy, this is a good question. Kathy Sutpin wants to know, is there a way to share... Shoot, it just disappeared. Hold on. Is there a way to share these videos with someone who was not registered for the course?
I don't know. I think someone else is going to have to pipe in on that. Someone whose initials are like Yasmin. And I think, can't they get into the class? Can't they sign up for learn to
communicate? I'll find that answer for you, and I'll make sure to post it actually on the page, so anybody who's interested in sharing it with their friends or anybody who they think might be interested in that they'll have access to it, and see if they have access to it.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, at some point, I think they're going to be available in a different form. It's just not today. Okay. So, hi, Claudia and Joan. See, people are actually addressing you before me. That's awesome. It's going to be learn to communicate with animals with Claudia next. But it'll all be in Spanish. So anyway, that was dangerous, taking a sip of coffee when I was laughing that hard. Okay, so my question was, my daughter and I both lost our fur babies within 6 months of each other, 1.5 years ago. My daughter needs to surround herself with his pictures, toys, and ashes to feel good and to feel close to him. I, on the other hand, can't bear to see my fur babies pick without crying. Thus, I have only one pick up. How can I get out of this state and get to feel like my daughter does? It's been 1.5 years and still having a hard time. I feel much better about her passing because of this class, but I want to be able to see pictures and feel comfort. Thank you. Okay. When my horse Raleigh died, I not only couldn't stand going into the barn every morning with an empty stall, I moved. I moved to California. I moved 2 states away, so I get exactly what you're talking about. I moved. I got on that I-5 little slide and went, whoo, I'm going away. I'm going so far away, because that empty stall, no matter how much I tried to make it okay, my horses and I were looking at it every day. My dogs and I were looking at it every day. My cats and I were looking at it every day. So I understand. Sometimes there are things that are just too big to deal with at a certain point in your life. And I had other, I was my book was coming out. There were a lot of things my second book was coming out. So I understand that. And I think what I did was I also knew I had a dying dog. So I was like, oh, this is going to be too much to lose everything here. So I would look around at all the other things that you also have going on in your life, because it could be that you're in a big transition with other stuff, and this was just the worst timing on the planet. And it could be that you've got, you've got compounded accumulative grief that just needs to more slowly come out. And that's just your process. Your daughter's a lot younger and doesn't have that piled up grief that you do, right? So, and she's of a different generation. They may grieve differently. They may be more buoyant with it because you raised her in a way that she's more available to it. But, I think everybody's different. And I have, like I said, I have Olivia and Isabella's toys. I said this at some point this week, around the house, in part because I just didn't throw them out and I moved. They actually were in a storage unit for quite a while, and when I opened up the storage, when I moved into this house, opened up the storage thing, I about died because all of it was Olivia's toys. So I think it's all, everybody's different. You just get to honor your whole thing, and the more you work through the grief, the more it's okay. Like I said, I mean, 30 years later, I can look at pictures of my sister and be like, I remember this. This was really fun. And, oh, we fought over the canoe that time. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I can look at it with a lot more joy. And I can now look at my own animals with that. But, I mean, even I couldn't do this project of going through pictures right now if I hadn't moved through 3 years with Olivia, 2 years with Isabella. So I'm not quick. You're not alone. I mean, do you have your dog stuff out that you just lost? How long ago? That was a year ago?
Jocko? Oh,
yeah.
No, my daughter has
that
his
was
bed.
August, right?
Yeah, a year ago, August.
Yeah.
She has his bed in her closet. She refuses to wash it because it
Right.
still smells like him, but she doesn't want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think what you're going through is perfectly normal, you know? And I'm not going to say your daughter's going through some sort of a denial. It could be that she's just, that's how she grieves, is to look at it and to be with it. Everybody's really different, but I'm more like you. I have always got pictures up of my gang, but I didn't have pictures of Ponyboy and Pet One up for a long time. But I just love pictures, and I take pictures every day, so I hope that helps. Has she responded at all?
Not yet.
Is she here?
Yeah, she's here. I think she is.
Yeah.
Who was it that again?
Doesn't say, but I
know,
remember this coming in.
I think she is. Diana De Jesus says, you said it right. I cry every time seeing pictures of something that makes me remember my boy. My son, on the other hand, is sad, but seems he's stronger than me. He cried the first days, but now he says he just wants to remember our boy happy as he used to be.
Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm. Like, my daughter can't handle talking about her dog, our dog that passed. I'm one that I like to keep them around.
Yeah.
Because I like to connect with who they were. So.
Yeah.
It also depends on the animal.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, why did some of us not connect to our animal? Is there something people who don't connect are doing differently? I understand connection can come in different forms, but there was no connection. Thank you for your response. Okay. I honestly feel like there are a few things here. Number one, animal communication, on the one hand, it's deceptively simple because we're doing it all the time. But it is a skill, and it is a learned skill, and that's why I have a school. So it could be that this was so new to you, and you have a lot of grief, and there's, I don't know, but, or there could be something still, not even grief, but something still blocking you. It could be guilt. And I think that a lot of people experienced it. I think it's a practice like anything else. And that's why, I take the time I do to really, that's why my school is 18 months long for people that really want to do this. But it's, you can keep coming back to that video and seeing if you've really moved some of the grief. And we'll do a little something here today.
And Roseanne Greco is the one that posted about her daughter, and she said thank you. She is here.
Okay, good. Yeah, I remember that coming in. I do remember that one. Mm-hmm. Could you please share reincarnation information and how it is an animal chooses to reincarnate and continue to find me? So I actually, I think we're around each other all the time. I know I'll see Raleigh again. I know I'll see Isabella again. I know I'll see Olivia again. I know I'll see Pet One again. I know I'll see Delilah if she should leave tomorrow. She just gave me
her ears just went up like, what?
I'm not going anywhere. But I know the animals and even the people. I mean, sometimes I just look at Claudia. It's like, how is it that I've only known you 1 year?
Right.
Yeah, because it's like a crazy familiarity. And even just a year ago, I was talking to Claudia on the phone about joining the program, and it was like I knew her, and she kept saying no, she couldn't afford it, and I knew she was going to do it, so I didn't even worry, because I was not going to not see this person again, because it was that familiar. So, all right, I'll see her again.
When I walked into the room when you gave that talk at the Gentle Barn the first time I saw you, it's like I recognized you.
Yeah.
Even though we've never met. So.
Right. So I think that the more we kind of get into finding our recognition of each other, the more we can really play with the depth of this. And once again, Delilah, who does not play with toys, just went and picked up toys. So I think that my other two are in the room here. Now we're going to the garbage. Hey, that's definitely Isabella inspired.
And she's snooping through my purse.
Oh my God, that's Isabella. Oh my God.
She never does that.
Never. Delilah would never do that. That is really funny. So, as far as reincarnation, and what's funny is yesterday Isabella said she's not coming back anytime soon. When I did this, she said she's here and she's not leaving the yard because she used to run off. So obviously she's directing Delilah into wacky stuff. But my point is that most of our animals, I don't think they're new souls to us. I just don't. I think that we are continually in relationship with each other, that it's a continuum. And I actually know that I've been a horse, and I know I've been a dolphin. I'm pretty sure I've been a lion. I don't know why else I would have shown up with 5 planets in Leo this lifetime. But I think that we all have a lot of familiarity around us.
So, okay, because we have questions here, so we're going to go off the questions we have on the sheet first and then address the ones.
Yeah, we don't have that many.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Thank you for this masterclass. I have this lingering fear that if I die, this is a good one, I remember this, my animals will feel like I have abandoned them. It probably comes from me being abandoned as a baby. Are we able to communicate with our animals on this side when we cross over to the other side? Will my animals that I leave behind understand that I'm still here in spirit? I think about this a lot because I'm alone, and should something happen to me, how would my animals know? I would trust that the people around me would be great communicators because I had a school. But I think that if I were having a slow death, it would be very clear. And I think that if I had a fast one, I've got great people around me that have great communication skills that they would understand. And then I would just come back and haunt everybody so they'd know where I was. So I think you will be fine, because I think that you've got, creating this big communication now enables you to have good communication in whatever life form you're in. Yeah, okay. Here's another one. Does it get harder as we get older to deal with the loss of our pets? I have 5 cats, but Amy was my last dog, and I feel lost. I feel I put too much responsibility on her shoulders. I don't have many comfortable human companions. I guess I thought she would be here forever. How can we balance the relative shortness of dogs' lives with the depth of our love and attachment?
That's a great question.
That's a great question. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, next question. I'm kidding. I mean, I had the same, it's like nobody's running the show now that Olivia's gone, except I have to now, right? I know that feeling. Well, one thing that I've written a few blogs, and I think I even have a video about this. If I don't, I will. Just about our enmeshment with our animals, that, sometimes it's good to just put a bubble around them and say, okay, you need to be the dog right now, and I need to be the human, and we need to have some space, because they will, a lot of them are pleasers, and will get in our stuff and be working with us on stuff. So it's not. I think that just having kind of healthy boundaries with your own animals is really. Speaking of healthy boundaries with our own animals, here comes Abby. Well, I was just thinking she's not a pleaser type, although she kind of is. But you know, so I think that it's finding a way to have healthy boundaries even with our animals, and I do think that it's. I don't think it gets any easier when we're older. I think we just get more used to a lot of loss as we get older. You know, I mean, I watched my dad at 90 lose all his friends, and it just was crushing. Can you see the dog tail?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I lost all the questions all of a sudden. Sue says it's hysterical seeing the tails in the video.
I don't think I made a strong enough pot of coffee. All right, I do feel better in some ways reading others' experiences, and some were word for word what I have been feeling and saying to myself. Oh, and this was still part of this. And Amy, as well as other animals who have passed before. I mean, so I just think there are some that just get into our heart in a different way and have, you know, come in and take over the household. So I'm not surprised that that's what, you know, that you're feeling that way, because it's yeah, and I don't know if it's going to be easier when you lose the cats. I think it just depends on how close you are with all of them. I am so close with everyone here that I look at it and I go, oh my God, what would happen if one of these cats was not here? I mean, I think about it all the time. And it will just be devastating. And yet, somehow, we'll all get closer and go with it. Or maybe it's a dog. Or, you know, I've got a 31-year-old horse. Oh, and you know what else? I had, someone else had, I was talking to yesterday, had a situation where her horse was let out and she was sick, so she didn't know that the horse had gotten loose, that somebody left the gate open. The horse ran into something and hurt his knees. A couple months later, or a couple weeks later, so what happened was you know, as you release toxins with you know, soft tissue damage, all of it went to this horse's eyes, and he's an elder dude, but really healthy, and he went blind. And so the woman didn't know about him getting loose while she was sick. She only now had a blind horse. And then slowly it came out. She looked down at his knees and she was like, what happened here? And somebody said, well, we knew you were sick. We didn't want to worry you. Now she can't trust anybody, and she's you know, going to lose her horse because he doesn't want to be. She has very good communication. She knows he doesn't want to be blind. So there's compounded grief and betrayal and sadness and untrusting. And I have a lot to say about that because I feel like this, you know, this dog, our neighbor, killed the dog. Now, we were able to forgive because the neighbor almost couldn't forgive himself. It was horrible. It was horrible. I was 12. But, you know, you have to really look at how can you forgive? I mean, forgiveness would have to be the first step. How can you trust without trust again? And I mean, I know this firsthand. I've had, even just with my school, I had someone very close to me betray me with this school, and tried to go out, take my content, take my students, and it took me a long time. I've only just now started hiring people, but I needed the help all along, and it took a lot to trust. It wasn't easy. I still picked some maybe not great people, But you have to ask yourself, number one, did you trust that person to begin with? And this happens a lot with pet sitters. Like even being the pet sitter. A friend of mine just told me that the first night pet sitting, the dog died. And the owner said, we're just glad that the dog was with you. Now that's a remarkable, loving couple, but that's not always the case. So anyway, going back to this where maybe you feel like somebody did something to your animal that was out of your control, I think, you almost have to take an assessment of where do you trust people? Was this completely a divine intervention, some weird reason, weird thing that happened? Can you forgive the people? Can you forgive the action? I mean, there's some big steps. And then there's things like tapping, EFT tapping. And so I'm going to tap with her today. But it's really important that you have some other tools to help with forgiveness, with healing, and because things like, we even read that in the beginning of the week, that girl, the niece of someone in here, they were walking down the road and somebody just went out of their way to hit the dog, the family dog. I mean, so forgiveness and compassion they have to be at the top of the list, and it might take a while. You can't expect yourself to forgive immediately, but you have to, it may take time. And so that's the only person it hurts is you.
So it's interesting that you said all this because Laura Wessner posted about her guilt around the passing of a 5 to 6 week old kitty and how frustrated and angry she gets, with the vet and the guilt, and it's that cycle, right? So Laura, I hope that answer that Joan was talking about, that story, helped you maybe find the answer that you were looking for.
Yeah, people are really mad at vets. I mean, I've had so many situations where in the opening of the Energy Healing for Animals home study course, we do a lot of work on our own stuff the first week or two before we move into working with each other and going through EFT tapping scripts. And I have to tell you, every time somebody's got a story about a vet that failed them and how mad they are at the vet. And we have to get these kind of war stories up and out in order to really be available to continue to help. And so I thought maybe, what time are we at?
It's 10:30. 1 minute to 10.
Okay.
10:30. I'm sorry, 1 minute to 10:30. It's 10:29. I did not get a good night's sleep. I apologize.
I know. You know what? I was realizing when I started, I'm like, wow, there's something up with Claudia, and I'm feeling it, and I had to sit here and just ground while I was talking, because I'm like, I'm susceptible to being like, woo today, and then you're like.
Can I share though? I know why.
Okay.
My cousin called me last night.
Oh, right.
The one whose mother passed away a few weeks ago. Her mother's dog, they found a tumor in her spleen, and they didn't give her very much to live. So I told her, what did I tell her to do? Bucket list.
Yeah.
And then this morning, I'm okay. He's okay. I'm doing what you said to do in the class, which is stay connected to the best outlook. I have to take my dog to the vet today because he's having some urinary tract issues. So that's why
So you're sideways, and I was starting to go sideways, and I had to what? That's not me.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Yeah.
So this class was
See
perfect
how this
for
works?
me. This class was perfect for me this week, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming, Claudia.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, everybody's addressing Claudia now. It's so good.
I can never fill those shoes. So
you have your own shoes to fill. Okay, so what I thought we would do for 1 minute, and then I want to, I know also some people had some big questions about the program, so I'm going to do that in a minute. I thought we would do, so is anybody still having some big grief and guilt issues?
Oh yeah, there's, yes.
Okay, so let's...
Grief about animals passing, and then about having to make decisions, life-changing decisions for their animals. So there's all of it.
Okay. So let's do just a quickie round of tapping. And so EFT tapping works like this. If we tap on the acupressure points, each of these points are connected to a meridian, and the meridian is connected to an organ, and the organ is connected to an emotion. So say like the liver is anger, the heart is joy, the lungs are grief. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. You could read more about that in my book, Energy Healing for Animals. But we're in this other book club right now called Communication with All Life. So anyway, I have all the information about tapping in there in both books, but more information in the Energy Healing for Animals. And it really helps. It's not going to take all of the grief away, but it's going to bring the grief down. So I want you guys, and some people have some worry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Some people whose initials are Claudia. So anyway, what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think about at what level your grief is, or at what level your guilt is, or at what level your worry is. And give it a number. So 1 through 10, 10 being the highest. Where are you? Just let's give it a number. What's your number?
8.
Okay. And so maybe people can type in for a moment what their number is and where they are. We'll see if we bring this down a bit. So we'll give it a second.
In the meantime, Leslie Metcalf wants to know if your books are on audio as well.
No.
Mm-mm.
We should all call the publisher. Anyway.
Lily Rose, she says she's at a 6. Tony Ventrella says she's an 8. Gloriana Palencia says she's a 10. Nina People says 9 worry. Jane Harada says a 4. Stephen Arnold says 4 today was 6 before this week. Oh. Jody Shimpak says 7. Deneen says 10 and beyond.
Oof.
Elizabeth McConnell 8. Katrine Marchese 9. Michelle Shell a big old 9. Sorry. Lee Peralt 4. Gigi Mitchell Velasco 6. Depression.
Okay.
Roseanne Greco 6. So we're literally, I'm looking at 10s, 5s through 10s.
Okay.
For the majority. So people are at 4 and 2, but 5 through 10 for the majority.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to follow me, what I'm doing physically, and you're going to repeat after me.
So I can repeat.
You're going to be the voice of them. Yeah. So are we all ready?
So tell them about this because you didn't explain it.
This is a karate chop point. I forgot that. Yeah, thank you, Claudia. That's why she's here.
And this is how we start, right?
This is how we start.
Okay.
So I'm going to say something here in a second. So even though I have so much grief, worry, and guilt.
Even though I have so much grief, worry, and guilt.
And let's throw some trauma in.
And let's throw some trauma in.
And I have so much going on with this.
And I have so much going on with this.
It's really uncomfortable.
It's really uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable.
And I love and accept myself.
And I love and accept myself.
Even though this is so hard.
Even though this is so hard.
I can't stand grief.
I can't stand grief.
I can't stand guilt.
I can't stand guilt.
I can't stand worry.
I can't stand worry.
I hate trauma.
I hate trauma.
I hate trauma.
I hate trauma.
And I love and accept myself.
And I love and accept myself.
Even though I have all this going on.
Even though I have all this going on.
And it's not getting any lighter.
And it's not getting any lighter.
And I honor the choices I'm making.
And I honor the choices I'm making.
This grief.
This grief.
There's so much grief.
There's so much grief.
I have so much grief.
I have so much grief.
I have so much grief I can hardly breathe.
I have so much grief I can hardly breathe.
I'm at a 9 for crying out loud.
I'm at a 9 for crying out loud.
I have grief.
I have grief.
I have so much grief.
I have so much grief.
I am so full of grief.
I am so full of grief.
I am so deeply sad.
I am so deeply sad.
So sad.
So sad.
I could have done better.
I could have done better.
I could have done so much better.
I could have done so much better.
Oh my God, I could have done so much better.
Oh my God, I could have done so much better.
I have so much guilt.
I have so much guilt.
I thought it was just grief.
I thought it was just grief.
Oh, but it turns out it's guilt.
Oh, but it turns out it's guilt.
I have so much 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 guilt.
I feel guilty.
I feel guilty.
I feel so guilty.
I feel so guilty.
I could have done so much better.
I could have done so much better.
I should have done so much
I
better.
should have done so much better.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
Sometimes I can't even breathe.
Sometimes I can't even breathe.
It's so big.
It's so big.
It was in my heart.
It was in my heart.
So heavy in my heart.
So heavy in my heart.
And now it's strangling me in my throat.
And now it's strangling me in my throat.
And let's just throw some worry in.
And let's just throw some worry in.
Because then I worry about everybody that's still here.
Because then I worry about everybody that's still here.
Oh my God, do I worry.
Oh my God, do I worry.
I worry.
I worry.
I just make shit up.
I just make shit up.
I just make it up.
I just make it up.
Because I can't help it.
Because I can't help it.
Because that's who I am.
Because that's who I am.
I'm in a worry.
I'm in a worry.
I'm going to worry.
I'm going to worry.
I'm going to worry that I'm not doing it right.
I'm going to worry that I'm not doing it right.
I'm going to worry that I'm not going to catch it.
I'm going to worry that I'm not going to catch it.
I'm going to worry about everything.
I'm going to worry about everything.
I worry.
I worry.
I like to worry.
I like to worry.
And then trauma?
And then trauma?
Oh, forget about it.
Oh, forget about it.
It's all trauma.
It's all trauma.
Just even walking down the street and thinking about it is traumatic.
Just even walking down the street and thinking about it is
when
traumatic.
I think about what could go wrong,
When I think about what could go wrong,
I get traumatized.
I get traumatized.
Because I already have so much trauma.
Because I already have so much trauma.
I have so much trauma.
I have so much trauma.
I can't take any more.
I can't take any more.
But you know what?
But you know what?
The animals in my home need me.
The animals in my home need me.
The animals that I want to help need me.
The animals that I want to help need me.
I don't want to be this person.
I don't want to be this person.
I want to feel my feelings
I want to feel my feelings
and still be productive
and still be productive
and still be available
and still be available
and roll my sleeves up
and roll my sleeves up
and help the planet.
and help the planet.
And me raising my own frequency
And me raising my own frequency
raises everyone's frequency around me.
raises everyone's frequency around me.
So I'm going to release this.
So I'm going to release this.
I'm releasing it.
I'm releasing it.
I'm releasing it.
I'm releasing it.
I'm releasing the guilt.
I'm releasing the guilt.
I'm releasing the worry.
I'm releasing the worry.
I'm releasing the grief.
I'm releasing the grief.
I'm releasing the trauma.
I'm releasing the trauma.
I'm also forgiving myself.
I'm also forgiving myself.
I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
I know my animals forgive me.
I know my animals forgive me.
And so I can forgive me.
And so I can forgive me.
My animals want me to be awesome.
My animals want me to be awesome.
They want me to be helpful.
They want me to be helpful.
They want me to be productive.
They want me to be productive.
They don't want me trapped in this feeling.
They don't want me trapped in this feeling.
I'm releasing it.
I'm releasing it.
I'm releasing it.
I'm releasing it.
I'm going to know I'm doing the best I can.
I'm going to know I'm doing the best I can.
The best I can.
The best I can.
And a lot of it's out of my hands.
And
A lot of
it is out of my hands.
And I have to trust that.
And I have to trust that.
I have to trust the universe.
I have to trust the universe.
I have to trust that all of this is happening for some bigger reason.
I have to trust that all of this is happening for some bigger reason.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
I'm just being present.
I'm just being present.
I'm just being present.
I'm just being present.
I am so present.
I'm so present.
I am here and here I am.
I am here and here I am.
Okay, take a deep breath. How's that number for you now?
It's like a 6 or a 5. I felt a huge release.
Yeah, I just felt the release kind of wash over for the group.
Mm-hmm.
How are people typing in their number now?
Well, I have a feeling they were all tapping because no one sent in a comment while we were doing it. So
if you have a release, if you feel like if you could drop in for a moment, just feel your well-being and see if the number has downshifted. Let's see.
So,
and I'm going to keep drinking weak coffee.
Gloriana Palancia says, huge release. Nina Peoples says,
It's nice to see you, Gloriana, here in the group. I know Gloriana.
Nina Peoples says she's at a 7. Leslie Metcalf, I'm bawling right now. Tony Ann Ventrella Wilson, she's a 6. Cindy Gans Turner, awesome. Roseanne Greco says, am I the only one who got a headache from this? It hurt.
No, you're not. You might have been tapping too hard. I know when I was getting divorced, I was completely bruised. But these points up here are governing vessel. There are a lot of points up here, and I like to kind of move it around because your whole nervous system is sitting around in there. So no, just really I just told someone yesterday to just like tap above with the intention, the next time you do it.
Oh my god. So hold on. I gotta go back because this is pretty awesome. Okay, so Sue Harris says yes. Christina hopes she says she's down to a 3. Robin Aaliyah says release the forgiveness. Nina People says her cat was trying to comfort her.
Oh.
Lee Pearl says phew.
My cats are locked in the other room because they were still having a leisurely dining experience, and I knew that dogs would take over. But normally when I start tapping, Francesca's like, and she's just right here with me.
Gloriana says she's not saying a number. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Karen Ivan. Hi, Karen. She says lighter.
Hi, Karen.
Melissa says she's at a 3. Jane Hagata says tear and complete release down to a 0. Elizabeth O'Connell from 8 to 4.
Good.
Stephen Arnold Ripke says it went up for him, then back down. He says he's now a 3 from a 4 before the exercise.
That's really great.
Melissa Olbit, it downshifted. Lily Rose, so half at least. Yeah, wow, yes, felt release. Carrie Randall. I have a really big release. Julie Alley. Connie Ox says awesome, feeling love, huge relief. Robin Lilia says, and the number keeps falling. Gita Forbes says from 7 to 3 grief.
That's really great.
Leslie Metcalf says big release. Robin Aaliyah says 4 to 5 right now. Paula Wheeler says was an 8 and now about a 5. Big release and tears.
Good.
Karen Olson says, I feel I must have done something wrong. I was at a 3 and feeling quite peaceful. Now I'm feeling some anxiety and my throat is tight.
Okay, I would just keep breathing and just really asking it to release. And it's funny because I was just going to say with Paula Wheeler, a lot of her losses were also tied up with both of her parents. And I wanted to point that out, that a lot of times, a lot of our biggest losses are connected to something more than just, it was the parent's dog. Or like what you're talking about with your cousin calling you about the dog whose mother, the human just died. And so there can be a lot tied up there, so who is it with the throat?
Karen Olson.
So Karen, I would just encourage you to keep maybe even just tapping lightly and saying, I'm releasing this, 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 oh, I'm releasing this. It feels so good to release this. I don't need this. It's not going to help me. Or it could be that you have some more to look at and then do the I'm releasing this, I'm releasing this, I'm releasing this.
Wow, there's some deep stuff here. Deneen says that the trauma statement hit home big. Me too. And then Katrine Marchese says, not sure I'm down from a 9. I feel a big part of me is so guilty. I don't want to relieve myself of the guilt.
So that is like what we call in EFT a borrowed benefit. Or a secondary gain. So the secondary gain is that you still feel like if you were to let go of that guilt, you would lose the connection with your animal companion. And I am here to invite you to try to release it because I think you'll have more connection with your animal companion. So if you want to rewind and do this a couple of times, I think rewind. Like this is some old tape recorder. Oh, Sue Harris, I hear you chuckling. Anyway, yeah.
Stephen Arnold says, I feel almost like a fever though, like after the day 4 meditation, warm from the inside.
Oh, well, you know what? I feel like and here comes the happy police, and she's going to wag the tail. So I feel like this is where we can be, like keeping, releasing it, still staying connected, like with your cat, but still feeling this lightness. And I think that when we feel this lightness and we've been in a big state of grief, this is a really important time to like treat yourself to something fun. I have to work all day, but.
So this is actually a really good question because I know we have a lot of classmates, including myself, who deal with pain. She says, this is Roseanne Greco. She says, this is my second time tapping with a professional and just plain hurt. However, I'm in physical pain 24/7. Could that be why? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you have physical pain and it's nerve related, you may have really triggered something. And I know we have questions about the school.
So yeah, everybody's just yes, Lily Rose wants to know, does this work with animals, tapping them? Yes.
Oh my God. That's one of the questions here about my classes. Yes, 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 and yes. And that's what I teach.
Melissa Olbit says she feels dizzy and nauseous. For me, that's been a release too.
Yeah, definitely that's a release. Because it could be that you have so much, so I would just drink a lot of water, be really gentle with yourself today. Breathe. If you can, go back in and rewind this tape and do it again when you have a little more grounding. It's not a one-time thing, not a one and done. I mean, it is for some people, but sometimes it takes a while. So, okay, because people want to know about the fall intensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so once a year I do this, I'm trying to read this without my glasses. So once a year I do, so a couple of people asked what happens at the fall intensive. And so, you know what, I do this once a year and it's really incredible. We do animal communication Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we do the animals in transition, death, dying, and beyond. So we take a lot of this work and go even 10 times deeper. So it's more being able to really help people. And it's like helping people with things like end of life decisions. So we go through all of that, helping people with communicating with their animal and finding out, does their dog want a surgery? Does their cat want like Paula Wheeler, I would have never thought her cat would have wanted that nuclear iodine thing. But, it turns out she did, and it gave her some extra years. So being able to be that clear and that neutral for someone with end-of-life decisions, that's, like, huge. Wouldn't you say, Claudia?
Yeah.
So that sort of thing. And finding out how animals are feeling while they're going through, if they are going through chemo, if they are going through some debilitating illness, what do they need the chiropractor? Do they need the, all these things? So being able to do that is really honed in and deepened at the animals in transition, death, dying, and beyond. And we do a lot of communicating to the other side. And then the next 3 days we do energy healing for animals, and that we go into chakras, the energy field, we clear chakras, we do the scalar wave, we do a lot of work with the energy field, we have a lot of intense work, and in all 3 of them, I fill the room for the animals in transition with this, and yet we laugh.
And we throw it like a football from one another.
Yeah, we throw across
Someone
the
will
room.
start crying.
Yeah, just tossing Kleenex around. But it's so powerful, so beautiful, so wonderful. So that's what the fall intensive is. Do you have anything to add about that?
Me?
Yes.
Well, I'm actually going to be using the skills that I've learned in the fall intensive and with you in our class to help my cousin with her dog.
Yeah.
To find out where she's at physically, what she wants end of life, what her bucket list is. So I'll be doing that today.
Yeah, and you're going to be one of the teacher trainers here in the fall, aren't you?
Yes, I am. So anybody who's coming in the fall, I will be here as one of the teacher trainers. I'd love to meet all of you.
I know.
It's like I feel like I already got to know a lot of these people, so.
I agree. Okay. We have, somebody asked about accommodations. We have an accommodation list. Lunch is included every day. Do I teach? What if I want to learn healing separately? What if I can't? Okay. So also what happens in the fall is I start an animal communication level 1, and that's a 12-week course. And that's right after the intensive. And then the next week I start, or also that week I start the Energy Healing for Animals home study course. And that, if you can't travel, those are great classes. Somebody asked, what if I'm a beginner? And it doesn't matter because beginners and advanced, first of all, I think, I don't know if this is a beginner for the intensive, but I separate the groups. I put the advanced in one room and the beginners for some of the exercises, but some of it we're all together. And I always say all ships rise with the tide, right? The beginners are blown away by the advanced are blown away by the beginners, and everybody just gets better and better and better.
So I have some questions about all of that right here.
Okay.
Let me just go back really quick. Lily Rose wants to know, do we learn distance communication? Lily, I actually have worked with people in Belgium from my home in front of my computer. So yes, we do distance communication.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing all afternoon today is.
Yeah. And Connie Ock wants to know, are you offering online healing communication? Can't leave the goats.
Yes.
The home study courses.
Yeah.
Jane Hirata says, so want to take the intensive in October just to meet Joan and Claudia and other teacher trainers that are coming.
Yeah.
are fantastic.
Yeah. We have a fun crew.
Chris Esposito, I don't have any other sick animals that I know of, but can I use these videos just to connect with my present animals? 100%.
Yeah, and also in this Facebook group, I did a class in February called Learn to Communicate with Animals or something. I forget what
it was
it's called.
the first masterclass.
The first masterclass. It's all animal communication, so you can go in and...
Did that question ask if they can only learn healing and not communication? Is that... I think that's what one of the questions was.
Yeah. Do I teach energy healing separately? Yes, I do.
But I, as a student, would highly recommend taking the animal communication first. 100%.
Yeah, because you know what? Why not just go straight to the horse's mouth? Find out exactly. And plus, there's a lot of medical intuition in it, things like that. Yeah, and what if I can't afford these courses? Here we go. So, I love to say that, first of all, I have continued to study and improve myself. And whether it's a dressage lesson or I just took a class on nutrition. I mean, I'm always learning nutrition. So not only that, but we've got all these people that are teaching in the program. And I think if this is what you want to do, how can you not afford to do it, right? And maybe it isn't today, but I have a million payment plans. I work with people in ways that are crazy. Claudia said she couldn't do it. Carrie Betts said she couldn't do it. Everybody said they couldn't do it. And I was like, okay. And they called me back within 24 hours with some way that they could do it. Some money magically appeared.
It's crazy.
Yeah, something appeared. So, I would say that when I thought I couldn't afford to take an animal communication class in 1994, 95, whenever I took it, I had already been doing it a little bit, but I wanted to take this kind of professional course. Nobody was doing that back then. Nobody. When I said that I needed to, open up a credit card or something for that, they just thought I was insane. And I found the money, even though, literally like the chunks of money would come in for some residual, for some commercial I had done that I didn't even know was airing, or something weird. Like I had weird money coming into the mailbox that first period of time. And then plus I'd had all the expenses of Pet One and Pony. It was crazy. Insurance money for Pet One came in, so put that into the class. I had energy healing classes I had taken. And then I just continued to invest in myself. I didn't complete the PhD program, but I started with Carolyn Mace. I completed all the medical intuition with Carolyn Mace and Norm Shealy, but what you'd pay for 9 days with me was what I paid for a weekend with Carolyn Mace, and I did 5 of those. So that is, I've invested heavily in myself, and I'm not I'm doing a few clients a week, but my investment in myself is now my investment in my students, because I need you guys to be the best you can be. And the only way I can do that is if I give everything. And it took a lot to get here, and I have a lot to offer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So
And again, I have crazy.
Tony and Ventrella Wilson asked, could you do scale?
No. Scale.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Does that, I'm trying to clarify that, Tony Ann, do you mean like lower the payment or payment plan and payment options?
I have so many payment plans. Yeah, I definitely have payment plans.
So, Cindy Ann Gantz-Turner says, I was gifted the money somehow because I just said I'm going to do it, and somehow the money appeared. Same here.
Yeah.
I remember being in the October intensive, not knowing if I was going to be in the full program, and Carrie and Sue and everybody's like, you're going to be in the full program. And I was like, okay. And here I am a year later.
Yeah.
Almost a year later.
I mean, it might seem impossible right now, but just be open to the possibility that something could shift, you know?
Oh, Tony Ann says, great. Okay, Tony Ann. So yeah, there's payment options and payment plans.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But there's no scaling the tuition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scale meaning depends on what you make is what you pay. That's what I thought she meant. I just wanted to clarify. Thanks, Roseanne. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I can't know because I mean, we have all different varying things, but I offer the same content to everybody. So in fairness to everyone else, it's got to cost the same. And I...
Who said that? Nina People says, I have a fund from pet sitting. That money's reserved for animal stuff. Yay!
Ta-da! You know what? One time, that reminds me. So somebody once told me that they dumped all this money into their animal account because the animal was so naughty in the beginning that they just wanted a savings account for every apartment that was destroyed. And 1 year they had all this extra money because the dog stopped destroying things, so they paid for me to come over and talk to their dog, and the dog had a party, invited all their dog friends, so the dog's fund paid for me to talk to dogs all day long. Isn't that hilarious?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sue Harris. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
She says, I never thought I could do it, but you just keep going and it happens. And
yeah, and I make crazy deals with people. I drive my bookkeeper insane, and some other powers that be are never like what I do.
Eleanor says, okay, hold on. Eleanor says, people are, oh my God, Joan has such generous payment options. It's basically a steal. She is the best at this. A-list expert.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions coming in? People still feeling relief?
Yeah. I want to go back. I can't find it, but trying to find someone who was talking about they got tingling. Hold on. Okay, this is Leslie Metcalf. My body has been tingling since tapping and just now stopped and a rush swept through me and I'm so much lighter now. I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome. You know, the thing I love about EFT is it feels like sometimes it feels like a big release, and sometimes it just feels like enough is chunked off that I can carry on. And getting it to be part of your regular practice, and and sometimes I go through resistance where it's like, I'm feeling this. You can tap, Joan. No! I definitely resist it sometimes, but when I do it, it's like, wow. I mean, I released some stuff from my childhood that round. So, we just have to, healing is a continuum, and we get to keep working on it. And that's one thing I also love about the program is it's like, there's the heal yourself. Cindy's actually said a couple times, I think I'm going to learn a lot more than just animal communication, right? Like the self-growth that comes with it and the healing that comes with it, the healing your animals in your household, because I don't let you get away with saying that you've got a challenge at home and you're not going to work on it, right? Like when you come to the energy healing for animals portion of the program, like we're going to get down and get dirty, and you might have to get a dog trainer. You might have to get, you know what I mean? Like, being able to walk our talk is hugely important to me. And how much has your dog shifted, Claudia?
Oh, tremendously. I mean, Barnaby, a lot of the people, well, anybody who came to the spring intensive met Barnaby because he was here every day, but he was not a cuddler. I mean, he would jump up from the bed as soon as anybody touched him if he was on the bed with us. And now I spoon him and I wrap my leg around him. He's a little reluctant sometimes, but no, and now he just kind of closes his eyes. So there's been a lot of shift with him. He's less fearful around men, still hesitant because he's very shy around men, but he's changed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody has big shifts in their household from the program.
Yeah. 100%. I'm like your poster child for what Cindy said.
Yeah.
Like, I only thought I was learning animal communication, and it's literally shifted every relationship in my life. So
it's good.
Yeah, in a good way.
Any other questions, comments?
Linda Weiss, yes, there's a different curriculum for the spring intensive versus the fall intensive. You have to do both because they're both different curriculums if you're in the big program.
So the spring is animal communication, EFT tapping, what we just did, but we do it on horses, dogs, and cats. Now, you get that, if you're in the big program, you get that in the Energy Healing for Animals home study course, but to come here and actually work on my horses, dogs, and cats, and who knows, at some point there may be a donkey. We'll be doing donkey tapping. Just saying. Anyway, don't think I haven't been thinking about that donkey all night. There's, and then we do the animal communication sanctuaries, which the more we inhabit this planet and the more damaged animals we have out there in the wild having to live in sanctuaries, this is really important work, and oh my God, is it special.
So Eleanor, Cindy says, Lord knows I need a shift in my household. And Eleanor says, this work with Joan even helped me shift my relationship with my daughter. Yeah.
Thank you. Cindy, you have Energy Healing for Animals in October, and we're going to get down and get dirty for sure.
Oh, Melissa just posted something. Melissa Reed, working with Joan is amazing. I'm in the big program. I jumped into this class as I needed help with my dog just passing.
Yeah. I'm going to start crying.
I know, me too. I can't.
Oy.
Oh, so, and Carla Clark-Taylor says, I can't thank you enough for this amazing week. So many tears, but so much releasing too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And, you know,